this is Justin Popovich here from IgniteYourEssence.com, and today I have my good buddy Brad Goss from BradGoss.com with me. We just want to take the next couple minutes to discuss something that I guess you and I kind of chat about this topic in general a lot, because pretty much any entrepreneur or blogger or internet marketer out there has faced the reality of being demotivated. I know you and I, we experience, everybody experiences it. So Brad and I were just chatting about how to get yourself remotivated, and you had a really interesting perspective. I guess maybe because you were recently in Vegas that you came up with this. But why don't you share what you were just saying to me, and I'd like you to talk about that a bit.
Well, I think all entrepreneurs, we all go through these sort of feast and famine stages where there's times where every sale, every time you get on the phone to make a deal, you close it, and everything you touch turns to gold. And then we go through these times where you're getting a lot of rejection, a lot of people say no, or you're launching a few things and they're just not taking off the way you want them to, or whatever it might be. And before we started this video, we were talking, and the analogy that I came up with, that's one of the things I'm good at, is coming up with analogies.
He's the analogy guy.
Is that this is a lot like playing blackjack in Vegas, and in blackjack, it's one of those games where you usually win in streaks of 3 or 4, and you lose in streaks of 3 or 4. And I know from my own blackjack play that when I'm winning, I'm excited, my heart's beating, I'm happy, and I'm increasing my bets as I go. So I'm kind of risking more along the way.
Yep.
And then as I start to lose, my motivation sinks, and that's how I got to thinking about it. Is that it's the emotional ride that you're taking. My motivation sinks, and I'm betting, but I'm feeling bad about every bet that I make, and I'm almost. And obviously you can't control the cards, but I'm almost putting that negativity into every chip that I put down when I'm losing.
Nothing about the table is changing. You're changing. Yeah. The table is not changing.
The deck hasn't changed. Nothing's changed except my internal state.
Perception.
My perception of what's coming next. And I'm always one bet away from a win again, right? So if I lose 3 and I stop betting, I'm going to walk away a loser and feeling bad. Whereas if I win 3 or 4, I'm going to feel good again. So you're always that sort of one step away, or one phone call, or one launch, or one deal away from another win.
Yeah, and I mean that's the reality of being an entrepreneur. There's days where you're up and down 5 or 6 times in one day, or sometimes you'll go a week or a month where you're on that high, that winning streak, and it's inevitable. You're going to go back into that valley. It's the ebb and flow of life, really. And I'm a big basketball fan. Same thing. Like, you get these guys. Their specialty is just shooting the ball. They shoot 3-pointers all game long, and these guys, the real pros, will shoot 17 in a row and miss, and they'll shoot that 18th like they've just hit the last 17, and inevitably they start hitting again, and they make $10 million a year. So I mean, it's about just, I think it's about controlling your perception to just almost like you have to assume the positive is going to come out. Like it's going to work out in your favor if you keep playing with that kind of energy.
I just finished reading a book called What the Dog Saw by Malcolm Gladwell. And one of the chapters in his book, he talks about sports. He talks about the notion of choking, and how sometimes an Olympic athlete or a star athlete who's extremely good at what they do comes out and plays like an amateur. And everyone's kind of seen this. Everyone knows the choke metaphor. But at the same time, it's actually not about them choking. What happens is, and I think we all get into this situation, is that when the pressure's on, sometimes we overanalyze our moves so much that we forget to just let muscle memory do what it's good at doing.
Yep.
And so when a tennis player starts to overthink their swing to the point where what they've trained to do over and over again 1,000,000 times, and they could do blindfolded, they're now overthinking every step of the swing, and it actually slows them down and screws them up. So as an entrepreneur, one of the best pieces of advice I could give is, when you're on a streak, when you get that first win, make a few phone calls that you've been putting off. Call those leads that you think might be on the fence. When you're in that winning mood, they're more likely to buy from you because you've got that attitude now. You just came off of a win. Now you're a winner, and you feel like a winner when you're calling those people.
That's cool. Yeah, the reality is you're creating it at all times. So the better you get at setting the energy you want and almost like assuming the outcome you want ahead of time, the better chance you're just going to get it. So hopefully this has remotivated you, and I'm really looking forward to some of your comments and feedback, and check it out over at BradGoss.com as well. We'll have the video up at both spots.
See ya.
Bye.